When a head of state prepares to visit another country, the machinery of diplomacy roars to life. Teams of planners, protocol officers, and security experts set to work ensuring that every detail reflects not only the prestige of the guest, but also the dignity of the host nation. For former U.S. President Donald Trump, whose second state visit is shaping up to be as glittering and polarizing as the first, those preparations are nothing short of monumental. Please subscribe to my YouTube channel. This is not just a trip, it is a performance on the grand stage of global politics. Every carpet rolled, every chandelier polished, every seating arrangement painstakingly reviewed tells a story of power, symbolism, and the delicate balance of international relations. To step inside the preparations is to glimpse a world of secrecy, spectacle, and strategic messaging that rarely makes the evening news, but shapes history all the same. The early stages, a dance of diplomats. Months before Trump even boards Air Force One, the first moves are made in hushed meetings between American envoys and their foreign counterparts. The agenda is crafted not only with an eye toward pressing issues, trade, security, or climate, but also to satisfy Trump's distinctive taste for ceremony. Officials familiar with the process reveal that Trump's team pushes for a blend of pomp and substance, wanting to ensure that his visit both dazzles television viewers back home and cements tangible diplomatic achievements. Every handshake, every photograph, every banquet toast is carefully considered, one senior aide reportedly shared. Trump understands the theater of diplomacy better than most. This balancing act is complex. The host nation must stage a welcome that flatters Trump while still aligning with its own cultural identity and political goals. Behind the scenes, negotiations cover everything from which palace will host the state banquet to what kind of dessert will be served, details that might seem trivial, yet carry enormous weight in the choreography of statecraft. Security, a fortress in motion. Perhaps the most daunting aspect of any state visit is security. For Trump, whose polarizing persona draws both fervent supporters and passionate critics, preparations are intensified to near military precision. Months ahead, reconnaissance teams scour every site Trump will visit. Rooftops are surveyed, potential protest hotspots mapped, and counter-sniper positions secured. Streets surrounding venues are closed, swept, and cordoned off. In the capital, entire neighborhoods brace for lockdowns as motorcades snake through routes chosen with both speed and safety in mind. Airspace restrictions are another layer of complexity. Military jets stand ready, no-fly zones expand, and local air traffic controllers train in coordination drills with their American counterparts. Even food tasting, an age-old practice, takes on heightened importance. Every dish presented to Trump will be sampled and tested in advance to eliminate risks. The host nation's security services also coordinate with the U.S. Secret Service, whose advance team arrives weeks early, transforming ordinary buildings into command centers bristling with encrypted communications, biometric scanners, and rapid response contingencies. For citizens watching from the outside, the visible effect is an almost surreal atmosphere, ordinary streets transformed into fortresses of steel and surveillance. Please subscribe to my YouTube channel. The venue, palaces polished and carpets rolled. A state visit is as much about pageantry as policy, and nowhere is this more evident than in the choice of venues. The grand halls, gilded ceilings, and sweeping staircases of a royal palace or presidential residence become the setting for moments that will echo in photographs for decades. For Trump's upcoming visit, curators and staff have been polishing silver, restoring centuries-old tapestries, and ensuring that every surface gleams under the unforgiving lights of cameras. Banquet halls are prepared with military precision, tables laid with exacting symmetry, crystal glasses aligned to the millimeter, floral arrangements bursting in the national colors of both countries. Even the red carpet is carefully measured, its length symbolizing both hospitality and grandeur. Seating charts are perhaps the most delicate aspect. Who sits beside Trump? Which dignitaries flank the host head of state? Every placement carries diplomatic meaning, signaling alliances, priorities, and subtle hierarchies. One planner confessed that these arrangements can lead to hours of negotiation. "It looks effortless on television," they said, but behind the scenes, every chair is debated. Fashion diplomacy, wardrobes with meaning. State visits are not only about speeches and summits. They are also visual events, watched by millions worldwide. For Trump and his entourage, wardrobe choices become part of the message. Melania Trump's fashion during the first visit was the subject of endless commentary, from her choice of designer gowns to subtle nods toward the host country's culture. This time, expectations are no less high. Stylists coordinate with protocol teams to ensure outfits respect cultural traditions while still maintaining individuality. If Melania, or another prominent figure, chooses a local designer, it could be seen as a gesture of goodwill. A choice of color may carry historical symbolism. Even Trump's ties, often a bright red symbol of his brand, are discussed in terms of how they will photograph against backdrops of royal blue or marble white. The state banquet, a feast of symbolism. The crown jewel of any state visit is the banquet. Invitations are coveted, seating is scrutinized, and menus are prepared with an eye toward both culinary excellence and cultural diplomacy. For Trump, whose preferences are famously unconventional, he is known for his fondness for well-done steak and fast food. Chefs walk a tightrope between respecting his tastes and upholding the dignity of the occasion. Typically, a blend is struck, traditional delicacies from the host country paired with dishes tailored to Trump's palate. Please subscribe to my YouTube channel. During the meal, toasts are delivered, short speeches filled with symbolism. Every word is vetted by diplomats, every gesture rehearsed. The clink of crystal glasses under chandeliers is more than a social ritual. It is a declaration of alliance, respect, and, sometimes, strategic intent. Public reception and protests. No Trump visit would be complete without public spectacle outside the official venues. Supporters gather to cheer, waving American flags and banners proclaiming solidarity. Equally passionate are the protests, often filling city squares with placards, chants, and satirical effigies. Police forces brace for these demonstrations, balancing the right to protest with the need for order. For television crews, the contrast is irresistible, the glitter of palace receptions against the roar of crowds outside. Both become part of the narrative, feeding into Trump's brand as a lightning rod of controversy and charisma. Media choreography, controlling the image. In today's media age, a state visit is as much about optics as substance. Trump, a veteran of television and branding, is acutely aware of this. Camera angles, lighting, and backdrops are all carefully managed. Will the handshake occur against a backdrop of national flags? Will Trump descend from the plane in golden light, waving as military bands strike up the anthem? Every image has the potential to become iconic or disastrous. Media teams coordinate press access, embargoes, and live broadcasts. Photographers are shepherded to exact locations to capture the shot that will appear on front pages. For Trump, who thrives on dramatic visuals, these preparations are essential. Private meetings, where the real work happens. Behind the glittering facade of state dinners and parades lie the true engines of diplomacy, private talks in quiet chambers. Trump's visit will feature closed-door meetings where negotiations are frank, sometimes tense, and often historic. Trade agreements, defense partnerships, and regional strategies are dissected. These conversations, while less photographed, often shape policy far more than the public ceremonies. Yet even here, symbolism matters. The setting of these meetings, whether a wood-paneled study or a modern glass conference room, conveys a message about tradition, transparency, or power. Cultural showcases, theater, music, and heritage. Hosts often use state visits to showcase their culture. Trump may be invited to attend a performance of national music, visit historic landmarks, or tour cutting-edge technology centers. Each stop is chosen to highlight the nation's pride, heritage, or innovation. For Trump, who enjoys large crowds and visible demonstrations of respect, such events provide a chance to connect with audiences beyond politicians. A visit to a historic cathedral, a moment of silence at a war memorial, or a tour of a high-tech factory all carry symbolic weight, carefully curated by the host nation to shape his impressions and, by extension, his policies. The departure, echoes of a visit. As the visit concludes, the departure ceremony mirrors the arrival, bands playing, flags waving, speeches delivered. Yet the true measure of success lies not in the pageantry but in the aftershocks. Did the visit improve relations? Did it produce new agreements? Did it strengthen or strain alliances? For Trump, whose presidency and public image have always walked a line between spectacle and substance, the second state visit offers another chance to wield diplomacy as theater. The grandeur may fade, but the photographs will remain, etched into history as symbols of a unique political era. Conclusion: a stage for history. The preparations for Trump's second state visit remind us that diplomacy is both art and science, both policy and performance. Beneath the glitter lies grueling work of diplomats, security officers, chefs, and curators, each playing their part in a production watched by the world. For Trump, this is more than a journey abroad. It is an opportunity to once again step onto the world stage, to shape narratives, strike deals, and showcase the fusion of power and personality that defines his political style. And for those orchestrating the visit behind the scenes, it is the ultimate test. To blend security with spectacle, politics with pageantry, and tradition with the ever-unpredictable force of Donald J. Trump. Subscribe the channel to get such videos.